Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kennedy Hall, and I'm the author of FSSPX, The Defense, which has recently been published in the Portuguese language by Instituto Gratia. And I'd like to extend my thanks to them for doing so. And I thought I would give a little bit of information about myself for those who've never heard of me and are wondering, who is this guy who wrote this book? Well, I'm a Canadian traditional Catholic. I have 6 children and a beautiful wife and a dog. And I live in Ontario, Canada, not too far from Lake Huron, a very quintessential, stereotypical Canadian life by the lake. We get lots of snow. We play hockey. We like to go fishing. We like our fires in the winter, and we like our cold beer in the summer. And I attend the Society of St. Pius X. Where I live, the traditional Mass is not very accessible. In fact, where I live personally, I'd probably have to drive about an hour and a half or more every Sunday to try to find one, which I know is not uncommon in some parts of the world. But the Society of St. Pius X has been there for our family, and when we were discovering tradition some years ago, it became apparent that the Society of St. Pius X was there for our family, so I wanted to know more. And, of course, people talk about the SSPX as being in schism. They talk about Archbishop Lefebvre as being like, the new Luther and things like that. And I wondered why people could say such things when I read about his life and I read the theology that is relevant for the question of schism and for the history of the Society of St. Pius X. And I found that it just didn't match the reality. He was a very saintly man, and I believe he was a great saint. And I'm very grateful to the SSPX for being there for traditional Catholics and really holding fast to tradition as the church descends more and more in the direction of modernism. So about a year and a half or 2 years ago, I don't know if it was the same in the Portuguese-speaking regions, but here in North America, in the English-speaking world, a huge amount of criticism took off on social media and on podcasts and in places like that about the SSPX. And a lot of big podcasters and radio personalities and so forth, they really went after the SSPX as being schismatic or heretical or whatever. So I am a writer. I'm actually writing my 4th book right now on modernism. I've published 3 books, including this book on the Society of St. Pius X. And I thought, maybe instead of just doing a podcast or something, which I do as well, perhaps I will write a book on this, because books have the effect of having a sort of wide influence that is lasting and permanent, and you can really get to the heart of the arguments in the written format more than you can in a format such as a video like this, as good as they may be. So I published the book, and it became a #1 bestseller in English on Amazon in the entire Catholic section, which was amazing to me. I couldn't believe it. It was higher than, even some days it was selling more copies on Amazon than the English translation of the Bible, which I found just astounding. And it really showed me that people had a hunger for the truth about the Society of St. Pius X. So I'm very grateful to the publisher Instituto de Gratia for reaching out to me and doing this great work of putting this into Portuguese. And I'm eternally grateful for what they've done. I hope you enjoy the book, and I hope that the arguments in the book and the history of the SSPX and the life of Archbishop Lefebvre shows you the truth of who he really was. And hopefully, like me, you'll see him as the great saint and hero of our church in this era of modernism and the decline of the faith. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy the book.